everyone, welcome once again to Gotham Discussions. I'm Captain Logan, and with me today, of course, is Steve Baxi. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Cap, what's up?
Today, nothing. Just Gotham. Gotham's up. Today we are talking about the second, what's essentially the second part of the two-parter. This is the Scarecrow, seeing this version's origin for Jonathan Crane. Really kind of interesting and exciting, and we'll explore that. I want to go ahead and just jump straight into the episode. And Steve, why don't you give me your opening thoughts and a best moment and a worst moment? Go ahead.
So I love this episode. I thought this one was really good. It's the first time I think the show's really found or done something that's building momentum or different or unique enough to warrant its own existence since like Viper and the Balloon Men and those episodes early on. I love this origin for the Scarecrow. I think it's really cool. Reading old Scarecrow stories, it's usually the same. Either he's bullied because he's a lot like Ichabod Crane, which is a really nerdy reason to get bullied, or he's just terrified and wants to understand fear, but it's never anything deeper than that. Getting him to be perpetually scared of scarecrows is really interesting, and it could open the gates for a really different version of the Scarecrow, where he's not necessarily just a university professor that's mad at everybody, but he could be somebody that's got a psychology just as deep as Batman's, and that's exciting. The guys that got to play Crane's father and Crane himself are amazing. If they made a Batman movie tomorrow, you'd get this guy for Scarecrow, and 10 years down the line, you get this kid as Jonathan Crane and the kid who plays Bruce as Batman, because they're fantastic.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
And the Bruce Wayne stuff's the other thing I want to mention, because I absolutely love that. I think Bruce Wayne is actually the best part of this episode. When we get to somewhere in the middle where Bruce is going out into the woods, and he gets those rocks that him and his dad left to watch the sunrise, and he just gets angry and throws all the rocks away and just has a childhood breakdown moment. This show hasn't done anywhere nearly enough of Bruce missing his parents.
Yeah. So
that's why that scene was just, it really worked for me. And part of Batman growing up is there's a certain element of, yeah, you miss your parents when they die, but there's also a bit of you're angry at them for leaving you like that. And to get Bruce to play up some of those nuances was really great. The stuff with Alfred coming back and then trying to toughen him up or at least get used to the idea that he's by himself was really great. And that is my best moment, is the Bruce having that breakdown. The one bad thing I want to mention is Fish Mooney, because the prison stuff is just not interesting.
I don't care.
At all.
Yeah.
It's really generic. I've seen it before. If you watched any prison movie, that's essentially what this is, but a lot shorter and a lot more boring. So yeah, I don't care for that. Aside from that, though, the Gordon stuff, the Penguin stuff, the Scarecrow stuff, the Bruce stuff, just top notch this week.
Steve, I don't think I liked it quite as well as you did, but this is definitely the best episode we've seen, since before the mid-season finale.
Yeah.
Most certainly. Yeah, I really liked it. I loved as you said. I guess I just have to mostly echo stuff you said. You kept saying stuff, and I kept going, I was going to say that, and I was also going to say that. Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah, definitely. My favorite thing was this origin for Scarecrow. I think it's kind of fascinating, and it's your classic creating the thing you hate by trying to beat it thing. And I don't know why, but that always gets me. I always love that kind of tragedy. And one thing I wondered, and I guess we'll talk about all this later, I had one reservation about Crane, and that was just that, and maybe it's just that he's like gone off the deep end, and that's supposed to be what it is. And clearly, he kind of has to a degree, because he's trying to inject his son when his son keeps like pushing against him and doesn't want to get the adrenaline thing, or not the adrenaline. I keep saying that it's not adrenaline, is it? It's what is it, Steve? Are
you talking about the stuff in the fear gland that they're?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, that stuff. He gets desperate and he kind of forces it upon his kid, which is really super sad. But I kept wondering, as a, like, and it's funny because now he's a university professor, so he's basically like what Jonathan Crane is in the comics, except a lot more interesting. And what I thought was weird though is that, like, as a university professor, even when he wrote that paper about how fear is actually is actually like a disease and we have to overcome it somehow, it seemed weird that there was no talk about how people need fear and how, like, that's just kind of a well-known, almost undisputable fact that, like, and we have that whole thing with Gordon at the beginning of the show of, like, fear shows you where the edge is and all of that. I just kind of wondered why there wasn't more discussion about that, especially because, and while some of the Gordon stuff in this is okay, I thought that we could have really drawn attention to some of that if we had had more of a paralleling story where Gordon is dealing more with fear. And it kind of bugged me that the whole fear is where the edge is thing didn't come back this episode. It seemed like a perfect place to do that, especially because that's been a recurring theme and we've touched on it more than once. So I don't know. I kind of missed that. But my favorite moment was certainly Jonathan Crane becoming the Scarecrow, and when he looks up at the Scarecrow and that image, it's haunting, and I was kind of surprised that I was cool with it, given that it's, in some ways, it's the obvious thing to do, but then it's not either, because I haven't seen it before with this character. I thought it was a really legitimate like way to go for that character. I also think that kid looks like a young Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, good call.
And thought that was pretty cool. And this almost seemed like they weren't, it didn't seem too derived from Begins, but it had that flavor, and yet it brought something very new to the table, and I thought that was really cool. The way that they do the hallucinations reminded me a lot of the Batman Begins hallucinations, and yet not too much, you know, it was kind of okay. I was surprised that I found the Elder Crane so sympathetic, like what happened to his wife, and that he blames himself and is and blames his, you know, just humanity's fear in general. I thought that was really, really cool and interesting and sad, and I totally bought it. And his wife was in the hallucinations was super creepy and had like this penetrating stare, and I thought that was all really good. It was weird that I just thought of this real quick. Isn't it weird, Steve, that it takes Gordon and Bullock so long to think of what his motivation probably was? They're like, oh wait, he has a tragic backstory. We should probably look into that. I'm like, really? Oh.
Yeah, I think it's the first time that a tragic backstory has actually broken a case for them, because it seems like it'd be really obvious. You know, you just ask somebody and it's there.
Yeah, but like they already knew about it, and he's like, gee, what could make him obsessed with fear? Wait a minute. And then, yeah, so anyway, that was my worst moment. Not only was I not anything like interested in the fish stuff, I mean, it was in exactly the same way that I've not been interested in the Joker's daughter stuff. It was just like that for me. But I also, am not digging the Leslie Tompkins Gordon thing yet, and I'm more with you than I was last time. You were talking about how shallow you thought it was. I said let's sort of give it the benefit of the doubt. Give it maybe it was just, you know, they had a big kiss because they wanted to make a big deal out of it and have a little bit of drama right there. But no, it's shallow, and I'm just not impressed yet. I mean, it just feels like we don't know how to write relationships, and everything has to be about kissing, and that's irritating. And I don't know. It feels like there's a demographic that they're trying really hard to cater to there, and I don't know that demographic is watching this show.
See, and even, that makes me wonder: are they smarter than we think they are? Because Gordon's got that really funny line about professionalism. Where it's like, where Leslie's like, what's unprofessional being kissed in public? It's like, well, that's the definition of unprofessional.
Yeah!
It was like a funny moment, but I don't know if they realize that's not supposed to be a joke.
I don't, you know what, honestly, I don't think it was a joke. I think it should have been, and it wasn't quite, because just the way they play it with Leslie, it's almost like, honestly, I don't know what's going on there, the more I'm thinking about it. And that is still my biggest gripe with this show, is that there is too much of either it's awkward, I don't know what you guys are doing, and I don't trust you enough yet with what I've been given so far. Because, yeah, I mean, you can have a thing where I just don't get it yet. It's serialized, you know what I mean? The story's not over. That's okay. But, like, this many episodes in, it happens too frequently, and I'm put off by it. And then there's also too much of Light with the Fish Mooney stuff. I don't know why I'm watching this right now.
Yeah, I don't know why.
What is going on right now?
Wanting to kiss is a conflict or taking up so much screen time. It's really strange.
No, and they have a habit of making us watch a bunch of stuff happen for episodes and episodes and episodes, and then it never really quite matters. And here's my big thing with Leslie Tompkins. Why couldn't she have been introduced right now? I don't know. Why couldn't she have been introduced here at the precinct? How come we had to introduce her back at Arkham Asylum and then like contrive a way to get her into Gordon's regular life? Because we haven't been developing that relationship hard enough yet for me to have needed to see it for the last 2 or 3 episodes. Why not just introduce her here, get rid of the medical examiner, because they had that built in, and then just have her be the new medical examiner. They meet, they like each other, office romance, if you've got to have that, right? Like, why didn't we do it that way? And that tells me that they are not looking far enough ahead. I don't feel like any of that was planned out. I think they're flying by the seat of their pants when it comes to Leslie Tompkins, and I think they're flying by the seat of their pants when it comes to Barbara, because when she finally comes back again, everybody's going to have in a media, or not every, I don't want to say that, but some people like me are going to have this knee-jerk reaction where we go, first, well, she's not been here in a while, why am I supposed to care? Like almost like, no, actually the first knee-jerk reaction will be, who the heck is that? Because I haven't been dealing with her, and then the second will be, oh god, her again. You know, and so yeah, I don't feel like with the love story stuff, I don't feel like they have any idea what they're doing, and if they can't write it, they should drop it, because everything else is better than that for the most part. Although, I mean, the big crime drama stuff still not as sophisticated as they think it is. That stuff still doesn't really work at all. And don't make me not like Leslie Tompkins, because I like her, and I'm afraid I'm about to really not like her.
Yeah, I mean, the actress is fantastic. Her and Gordon have some really great chemistry. It's just they're not being written complexly. So, like, Leslie Thompson's got a thing in the comics where she likes areas like Arkham. She likes places like the Narrows, or just areas of the town that are supposedly terrible to live in. But she thinks that's the best way to help people and the best way to get to the root of the problem, literally.
Yeah.
So we don't have that here at all. Like, that's just a superficial observation. It's not really part of her character in this. But if they had something there, I mean, they had a conversation about her moving from Arkham to the precinct isn't that much of a change because it's crazy everywhere, or just, you know, something to give her more than she likes Gordon, that would have been really helpful. Because, like you said, this relationship is not as interesting yet, and it's tough because I really like the actors involved, and I think you can make it work. It's just you have to give them personalities.
The first thing I said when she showed up was, have a romance with Gordon so we can get rid of Barbara. And then they did it, and they were immediately doing things to make me not like her as well. Toward the end, when she, like you said, when she's got that whole, oh, it's not unprofessional to show your feelings in the workplace thing, I was like, you're stupid, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not a professional. And what it feels like ultimately is, it feels like men trying to write relationships who don't understand anything about relationships. It feels like men trying to write women that don't get women, and that just need to do more empirical research. That's what it feels like. And I hate that, but that's what it feels like. Real quick, let's do some quotes. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff in the comments that we should probably answer. So, what? JL8686. Gordon has a beer and cheats on his wife. Okay. Anyway, I don't know what that...
in the comics, yes.
Oh, okay. That's what... All right.
Not in the show, but...
I wish I had a comment stream every time I was doing a video. Anyway, Steve, so that every now and again, especially when I'm in a place where I'm like, I'm not sure what I want to say next. Let's go to the chat. Steve, quotes. Did you have one? Did you have a favorite quote this episode?
I just had the one, Penguin talking to Gordon saying, walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light.
Yep. That's a great episode. And maybe I'm reading too far into this. Sounds a little foreshadowy for Batman to me.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think of that just immediately, but yeah, that's nice. Immediately where my mind went is like Gordon in his mind is thinking walking alone or walking with a friend in the dark is an easy way to get stabbed in the back or something like that. That's why he's hesitant with Penguin.
Yep.
But yeah, that's totally a Batman thing.
Are you not wondering, like I am, why exactly Falcone is keeping Penguin around?
A little bit. I mean, I can see him being useful, but
Is that enough right now?
He seems to almost bring out more problems for him than he's worth.
He seems like a liability, and I'm wondering what it is. And again, I want to trust the show for it to be a thing that I haven't thought of, but a lot of the time, I've hoped for that, and it hasn't really delivered, so I don't know. But I do really like Falcone in this episode, because now that he's got purpose again, have you noticed the dip in his vocal timbre? Like he's speaking a lot lower and lower pitched, and he seems a lot more driven, and he just seems more ruthless, and it seems like all of a sudden we've got the Falcone that Gotham probably had 20 years ago, and I really like his change of performance. Suddenly he gets to stretch his legs again. I feel like he wasn't getting great material for a while there, so he was doing his best, but you could almost see the actor, I guess I'm saying this in retrospect, you could almost see the actor going, okay, can I please get like some stuff to work with? And now he's got it, and he totally is rising to the occasion. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think the overall model stuff, like you said, is necessarily working, but just seeing him act as well as he's doing and playing off Maroni like that is fantastic to watch.
That JL86896 guy, Cap, that was a reference to a story from 2002 about the original Batman script treatment. It became a meme. I didn't know that was a meme. The silly thing that I read from him earlier, I didn't know that was a meme. Okay.
Okay.
Let's read some stuff that people are saying, mostly just more We Hate Barbara stuff, which is fun because she's not even in this episode. William Parcell, when Gordon cheats on Barbara, it's not cheating, it's upgrading. Red Letter and Tealies, while this is not my kind of Scarecrow, my favorite villain in fiction. In fiction! That's interesting.
Oh, okay.
This version was great and still fits the character a lot. Well, high praise from a guy that says Scarecrow is his favorite character or his favorite villain in fiction. That's really interesting, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is a nice upgrade, considering that Scarecrow was fantastic when he's written well, but he never gets anything that deviates from the norm as far as origins go.
Johnny Torch, hey Cap, last week did you go see the guy, the guy with the thing? Yes, I did! Let's see here. Okay, I need to open these comments in another thing real quick just so that I can see everything, because there's a lot. Give me just a second, everybody! Everybody!
The 2.5th Doctor says he wants the Court of Owls as an arc for an entire season.
I think it would be cool if we did something for an arc for an entire season, because when we get done with this season, I'm going to be wondering what else there is to do.
Yeah, good point. And I mean, Gotham's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of mythology. You can certainly play on some of that stuff. There's entire stories just about the architecture of the city, so I could see you doing something there.
Is this going to feel like just the setup season, Steve, where like we just introduce all these villains and give them origins, and we make it kind of like Gotham Year 1 or something, and then like we keep building on them? Because the thing is, I'm going to be more okay with all of this stuff coming so early, Harvey Dent, and now Scarecrow, and Electrocutioner, etc., all these characters, if we don't next season keep adding people, but we keep going back to them and doing stuff with them.
Yeah, I think that would work. If actually moving forward they make the whole show less archy and they just make it about Gordon and Bullock trying to do their jobs, but inadvertently introducing these villains to each other. Which, by the way, the Riddler Penguin moment, which was apparently a really big deal for some people on Twitter.
Yeah.
That was really strange.
It was strange.
And I don't think it was a really good scene either.
Nope, I don't think it was good either. It was played up too hard. I mean, they're both in the same room, and Penguin's walking up to him, and I don't know why they thought those two villains meeting was this big of it. We didn't do that with Catwoman and Ivy, and they have a major comics history. Riddler and Penguin? I mean, I could almost, and I'm joking when I say this, I could almost have seen it if it was like Riddler and Harvey Dent, just because they were both in Batman Forever, I guess. But,
I mean, but it wasn't even an in-joke. It was just a really obvious wasting 2 minutes kind of thing.
It kind of was. And, I mean, at first, I will say that I had a second where I went, oh, cool, we're going to get to see these two major villains finally meet. But I was thinking that not because, like any kind of comics history or just like, oh boy, crossover or something. It was just, what if they have something really interesting, some interesting exchange? I was excited about that, and then it was kind of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I could see maybe the Penguin being the Riddler's drive to become a villain or something like that. You could make their histories intertwine. It's just they didn't do anything like that. They just had them talk to each other for 2 minutes.
Johnny Torch, I'm with you on this, man. I think the writers had no clue the show would take off and are writing the season off the cuff. I think you're right. I think dealing with Fox is hard. And I think that they didn't know when they started what kind of order they were going to get and how many episodes they were going to get. Remember that they got a 16-episode order, and then all of a sudden they got a bunch more episodes ordered. And
they got renewed for a second season even before half the first season was over.
Yeah. AMC Comics, I was hoping it would be the Iceberg Lounge. I had the same note, especially because this is, again... And I liked this episode, but this show is so awkward, where you think that for the fans, it's giving us some kind of an Easter egg or something when there's like a line that gets cut off or something, and we're supposed to fill in the blank, right? And things like that. Because last episode we had that thing where Oswald almost said the name of his club, and then he gets interrupted. So you mean to tell me that we got interrupted there, and he was about to just say Oswald's? And like they made a really big deal out of that. It was really, that's odd. I don't know what I'm looking at there. Why? So okay. And if they think that they're subverting people's expectations, that sound means we're all out of time. I
thought there was about to be an electric shock or something.
If they electrocutioner rigged up my basement. But now he thinks that it'll kill me, but it will actually just render me unconscious.
No, but you're wearing rubber shoes, so you'll be perfectly fine.
Rubber shoes. Rubber shoes. Anyway, what point was I making? I don't remember. Anyway, let's go ahead.
The club about Oswald's.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying that was kind of weird. Why didn't he get any kind of turnout? That was the thing I wondered about.
Yeah, that was strange.
Like, there's nothing about how people don't trust him, or I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, that's one of those things I'm okay with just leaving for a couple of episodes to see where it builds to. Maybe the Penguin's built a reputation and it's not the kind he wants, so the club doesn't do well.
I guess, yeah. All right, well, real quick, let's do some trivia questions and other stuff. Comic references. The big one I had was the mention of the circus, and I know we've already heard that they're going to do the Graysons this season already, because we have to throw everything in there. It's all.
I don't know about you, but Dick Grayson's dad is a really fascinating guy when he's 10 years old.
I don't know. It's all really too coincidental to me right now that we've just got all this. I mean, Gotham feels like such a tiny place right now, and it felt that way at the beginning. And I was cutting it some slack but it's getting weird. Anyway, so there's that. All right, trivia questions. Do you have a trivia question, Steve?
I do. So when Jonathan Crane was a professor at Gotham University, he was a mentor to which future Batman villain?
Cool. My question, Steve, is what is the name of the song that punk band is playing on Penguin's stage? I kind of like
that song. It got stuck in my head.
I kind of like that. That was sort of funny. Well, any quick last minute mentions of anything, Steve, before we go?
Something I had note of, and I wanted to bring it up back when you first made the point, but I forgot. But when you mentioned there's no exploration of people needing fear, I agree, but there's still that thing of Jonathan Crane saying he has no fear, and that's what gets him killed.
Yeah.
And I like that, and if they brought some more attention to that, I think it would have ultimately worked. But it is really cool to just see Jonathan Crane acting like having no fear is his great strength, and he ends up getting shot and killed anyway.
Well, you mean his dad.
Gerald Crane.
Yeah.
Gerald Crane. Whatever his name is.
Gerald Crane. Yeah, but I agree with you. And then at the same time, he like the message clearly is fear is important. We have to have it, and also it's a Jekyll Hyde thing, right? He's messing with nature. He's playing God, and when he so first of all, he does that. He tries to beat fear, and he gets killed because he tries to beat fear. But secondly, because he tries to beat fear, he also turns his son into the personification of fear, and I just freaking love that.
That's a great point.
One thing you gotta wonder, of course, is if he's perpetually going to be like this, presumably his whole life. I mean, that was really what they were alluding to at the end, I think. You gotta wonder how in the world he ever gets out of that place and becomes a villain that would fight Batman. But I guess we'll see. I mean, I guess guess there's something that could be done with it. But yeah, I don't see him becoming a university professor. Although, wouldn't it be interesting if he, like, because this would be a very Batman thing, right? If he beat it, and then it came back somehow. Or it was always, like, looming under the surface and almost became, like, another personality or something.
Yeah, no, that would be really fascinating, giving Crane almost like a Two-Face complex in that way.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff to mine here, and I feel like if we had more time, we'd probably have a lot more to talk about with that part of it too. And I didn't have a chance to weigh in on the Bruce Wayne thing, but we'll talk about that next week. We'll go ahead and move on. Steve, what is the answer to your trivia question, sir?
The answer is Tommy Elliott. Hush.
Oh, of course. The answer to my question, the name of the song the punk band plays on Penguin's stage is "No More Heroes Anymore." Which is, apt. Anyway. Well, hey, everybody watching this as a separate video, thanks very much for watching. We sure appreciate it. I want to thank our live internet audience for their participation, and stay tuned for more, guys. Thanks for being here. And anyway, we will see you again next week with more Gotham discussions. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Steve Baxi.
And we'll see you later.